Hello YouTubers, Chilios2222 here, bringing you another Springfield Armory treat. This is an oldie but a goodie. Wow, it's upside down. Let's fix that. Talk about being prepared. Springfield Armory. That's how it is on the box as you carry it. This is the original XD. Pardon my little Casio there. This is your XD 9mm, made in Croatia. Springfield ink. Don't know how to say that really properly. And we've got the 9x19 HS product, made in Croatia. We're going to clear it, magazine out. You can see on the back here, the striker has been fired. It's not protruding. There is no indicator on the top here. Very important. And we're going to check the chamber to make sure firearm is clear. Pointing it down into the table, away from anything. The chamber is clear. You can physically inspect the chamber. You're going to see that the striker is now cocked on the back. Got your striker, steel sights up top, and your grip safety right here. Why was this pistol popular? Good question. This handgun right here was compared to the Glock, but a few things made it kind of interesting. And they continue to this day in most handgun offerings out there on the market that have come along and tried to emulate these features. One was a ambidextrous magazine release. As you can see right here, that's your ambi release, that button. At the time this was compared to the Glock when it was released, Glock did not have an ambidextrous magazine release. That's on the left side. If you're right-handed, typically you'd use that. And on the right side, that's your ambi release. That functions with the button right there. Let me zoom out. So that's your ambi mag release. Basically, this allowed you to drop the magazine from either side, stays out of the way. You had a striker cocked indicator on the back of the slide. This allowed you to realize that the firearm was cocked. That's your striker indicator. So basically I'm going to clear it again. When you fired this handgun, I'll show you that the cocker, I was calling it, the striker indicator will actually go in, and you can actually feel it at night to see if the firearm is indeed cocked back. So as you fire it, you'll see that striker disappear. Another feature this firearm had was forward cocking serrations. Right there. You can see those forward serrations, and they are functional. Give you an idea of what that looks like. So there's your forward serrations. I'm just going to grab those. they are completely functional. So basically I'm pulling this back with the front and locking back the slide. Those are your front serrations on the handgun. Takedown. You also had a different takedown style system, which was accomplished by swinging up this lever. And since I have to take it down off camera, I'm simply going to let the slide go forward. At that point, you're going to dry fire the handgun. And your slide is going to come off. So here's your slide. Another feature that you had with the original XD9 was your recoil spring. This was all steel. So you have an all steel recoil spring. I believe that's steel also. This was unlike the Glock. It's your barrel. Right there. Slide. And then your slide rails. Slide rails right here. So you have this big chunk of metal inside your polymer frame. And then your working assembly parts. Really not that much to it. It was such a basic but good firearm. It also allowed you this squeeze safety that went into the web of your hand, and this weapon will not fire unless this is depressed. So I'll give you an example of that. That's your reassembled piece right there. See how that goes in? There's actually a cut. If you can see that. You see that cut right there. Step, I should call it. So a recoil spring goes into that step. And then your takedown lever, once you get that all put back together, slid on, you're just going to rotate that down. Let your slide go forward. And then the functions check, you're just going to point in a safe direction. Squeeze the trigger. You're going to rack again, release the trigger. You'll hear a click. Squeeze again. That's your functions check. The XD had a 16 round magazine. Of course, these are limited to 15 for YouTube. This is your 16 rounder. And it had a very smooth magazine that was easy to release. So you can see when you drop these, they drop free very readily. So XD, in a nutshell, it was compared to the Glock, but it was not really comparable to the Glock. It had so many different features on it. And again, ambi-slide release, both sides, a more rounded trigger, which is metal, an easier takedown system. Actually, it had a safety. So when this is depressed, it will fire. When it's not, it will not fire. So I'm retracting the trigger with trigger safety, it will not fire. When it's depressed, it will fire. The striker indicator, cocker indicator. So cocked firearm. It also had steel sights, unlike the Glock. The dual serrations. So you had a lot more out of the box. This would be comparable in size, maybe between a 17 and a 19. And you also had a round capacity in between the 17 and the 19 of 16. That's your Springfield XD. Please like and subscribe. I have a future video on it, the compatibility of the XD magazines with the XDM. Chilios 2222 out.